Everyone, I'm back today with what is hopefully another short video. I know a couple of times in the past I've hinted at my opinion about campaign farmers and how I don't think you should be putting any specific energy into getting one or focusing on a particular champion to just campaign farm. So I'm going to take a little bit of time today to talk about why I think that is. Um, so first of all, especially if it's a character that you will only be using in the campaign to farm and nowhere else, like potentially Shield Guard or Saurus, I definitely don't think you should be putting any resources into them, especially if you're a free-to-play player, because you're just that's one more 60 that you could have that actually helps you in some other facet of the game that you're just only going to be using to campaign farm. And as a newer player, you're always going to have your starter anyway. So the starter, as long as they're in the starting lifesteal gear that you get from the login rewards, can farm 12-3 very easily. So there's not really any incentive for you to switch anytime early on in the game to a campaign farmer. For instance, I'm about to run out of my XP boost on this free-to-play account, and I only have 3 6-stars. So if I had spent energy getting a campaign farmer this early on and focused on that, then I wouldn't have either my starter or my defense down or my crowd control tank at level 60. And I mean, I'm using all three of them for their stats, so having them at 60 is quite important. Now, obviously, not everyone is on a new account or is a new player or is even free to play. But let's think about the opposite end of the spectrum for a moment. And if we think about very end game players, at that point, you definitely have a very good arena nuker. And they might not be able to be like a 6-second campaign farmer, but I would be shocked if it was more than 10 or 11. And how much time will you actually be spending farming the campaign to level champions if you are that far enough late game that you can even farm food or level up food in dungeons like Dragon and the potion keeps and stuff like that, where you don't have to spend your time leveling food in the campaign, and you shouldn't, because you can be getting more than one reward out of farming Dragon if you can get experience at the same time. So it's not for early players, and it's not for in-game players. So what about for mid-game players for the second? So when I say mid-game, I mean you're spending most of your energy farming dungeons on the average day. So you're either working on 13 dragon or 16 dragon, or possibly you're even farming dragon 20 and just working on gearing up all of your champions so you can progress in other parts of the game. So the question then becomes, how often do you actually have a champion that upgrades the team for the content you're looking at? And the answer, unless you're spending money on shards, is not very often. So you won't be even using your campaign farmer that often, and getting them to the point where they could actually go in and farm the campaign pushes you an entire champion back in your list of what you want to level up. So while it is possibly more defensible for a mid-game player to do that, it seems like even less likely of a reason to want to. And that's kind of why I think the uncommons like Saurus and Shield Guard are definitely not worth investing in, unless, of course, you are pushing in faction wars and you don't have the champions to be able to fill out those teams. Like that would be the only time I would put any sort of resources into those kinds of champions. So overall, for the average player, it to me does not seem worthwhile to be spending your time and energy to level up a champion that is specifically going to be farming the campaign. Because if you're early on, and that's when you'll be spending most of your time farming the campaign, you don't have the resources to spend on that. You need to level up your other characters. And then once you're past that point, you're not spending a lot of time in the campaign anyway. Now, to be fair, there is a type of player that I think not only is it defensible, but possibly even a good idea to level a campaign farmer, and that is if you're going to be spending a lot of money on shards, and you're also spending a lot of money on both energy refills and gems to level up the champions you're getting from shards. Because by spending money on gems and energy, you're showing that you do have some amount of more value on your time than a free-to-play player, and you want to be progressing faster. So to do that, you're trying to level up your champions. So you open a bunch of shards, you need to level them, and you want to get that done more quickly. I get that, right? You're putting money into the game to be able to progress faster, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is the type of player that I do think it is worthwhile that, investing in a campaign farmer. And to be fair, when I say investing in a campaign farmer, that can also just mean, say you have your starter and you upgrade to a new nuker in the arena. Well, if you just focus the stats so that you have the right speed, so that you're either going twice every round in 12-3 before the enemy team goes at all, or you have enough crit and crit damage that you just one-shot all of the waves. But to actually get a champion up to that point isn't too terribly much gear, and you can use your starter for that. It's just you're putting gear on a champion that you would never use for anything else, and I think that's perfectly fine. And I think if you are spending money on both gems and energy refills, and you're buying a lot of shards to get new champions, then yeah, I think that is the one time that it may be worth it for you to invest in a campaign farmer. So I get that sort of question a lot on my stream, so I did want to just make the video now to kind of address that about why I don't think campaign farmers are all that useful, because it does slow down your progress in the rest of the game. But if you are spending money to speed up your progress, then it will also save you time there. So I think that is the one time that, again, it's defensible. So, like I said, hopefully this ends up being much shorter than I normally do, and I hope to see you guys in my stream tonight. I stream every single day on Twitch at Clueless Economists, and it's going to be right around reset every day. Tonight, it's going to be cut a little bit short, because at 9 Central Time, I will be stopping my stream, and I will be going on Phixion's to give a quick interview with him during his charity stream. The information for that is going to be below this video, and I highly recommend you guys check him out. If you can't in general, just tonight or even tomorrow, because it will be a 24-hour charity stream. And like I said, the information for that is below the stream, and I hope you check him out and possibly come watch me at some point. Thank you.